Once, in a vibrant town nestled among rolling hills, lived Auric, a wealthy merchant known for his sharp business acumen. He possessed riches beyond imagination, yet, despite his fortune, Auric was a solitary man. His mansion, though grand, was cold and silent. His days were filled with deals and ledgers, his nights with restless dreams. Wealth had become his prison. One day, wandering through a distant market, Auric stumbled upon a peculiar stall. It belonged to an old woman whose eyes seemed to pierce through the veil of time itself. Spread before her were trinkets, oddities, and items unlike any Auric had ever seen. Among them, 3 mirrors caught his eye. The first was framed in shimmering gold, so bright it seemed to glow. The second was encased in polished silver, its surface smooth and cold like moonlight. The third, humble in comparison, was bordered by simple wood, its edges rough but inviting. "These mirrors," the old woman began, "are unlike any you have seen before. They do not show your reflection as others do. The golden mirror reveals your past, the silver mirror your present, and the wooden mirror shows what could be." Auric, intrigued by things of value and utility, purchased the mirrors at a steep price, convinced they would bring him some advantage in life. Back in his mansion, Auric placed the mirrors in his study. Curious, he stood before the golden mirror. At once, the surface rippled, and an image appeared. He saw a boy running barefoot through a meadow, laughing as the wind tousled his hair. The boy chased a butterfly, his face lit with pure, unburdened joy. Auric recognized the boy as himself. The scene shifted. He saw his mother, her hands weathered from toil, kneeling in the fields. Her eyes sparkled with love as she looked at the boy. Auric felt guilt. He had forgotten his humble beginnings. Shaking, he turned to the silver mirror. This time, it reflected his present reality, himself sitting alone in his grand dining hall, a feast untouched. The vision shifted to his office, filled with merchants feigning smiles. Auric realized they were there not out of affection but obligation. His fortune had brought power but also isolation and a lack of genuine connection. Finally, with trembling hands, Auric stood before the wooden mirror. The surface was cloudy, then slowly, a scene emerged. He saw himself older, but not alone. He was sitting by a fire, surrounded by villagers whose faces glowed with warmth and gratitude. Though his robes were simpler, he looked content. He could feel connection. The mirror whispered, "This is what could be." For days, Auric couldn't sleep. He began to see his life not as a series of victories but as a string of missed opportunities to connect, to give, to love. He made a decision. He returned to his childhood village, now barren. He offered to rebuild their homes, their wells, their livelihoods. He worked alongside them. With each act of kindness, he felt the coldness inside him thaw. His wealth diminished, but he discovered companionship, purpose, and joy. The boy in the meadow, the man in the lonely dining hall, and the elder by the fire, they were all parts of him. Now, he was becoming the man he saw in the wooden mirror. Years later, the 3 mirrors still hung in his study, but Auric rarely looked at them. He no longer needed their guidance. He had learned their lesson. While the past shapes us and the present reflects us, the future is ours to craft with the choices we make today. Auric lived not as the richest man, but as the happiest. His legacy was written not in gold, but in the hearts he touched. The past teaches, the present reflects, but our future is shaped by our choices. True wealth lies not in possessions, but in the connections we nurture, the kindness we show, and the purpose we find in giving. This is the Stoic path to enduring happiness.